Okay, dear friends, so let's go ahead and take this time to calm our hearts, to calm our minds, elevate our thoughts to the good friends that are here with us. Let's thank them for their presence, thank them for the opportunity for this teaching. Let's ask God that we might need this, we might use this in our everyday life. All these teachings from tonight. Let's ask the spiritual friends to keep us company. Let's ask those spiritual friends to help us to go through these tribulations that we're going right now. Let's ask them to bless our homes, to bless our city, to bless our nation, the whole universe that is in so much need right now. Let's take this time right now, this 40 minutes an hour, to empty our minds from all the problems, anything that has been bothering us, so we can fill with good energy, we can fill with the good vibes that our friends bring to us, and so be it. Okay, so today we're going to finish chapter 21. I kind of feel that this is a little bit repeating from the last two meetings that we had. It's basically a review of this chapter. This chapter is very important because it helps us understand the characteristics of the true prophets, and also the way that we can recognize them. The way sometimes to recognize a true prophet is to recognize what a bad prophet is. So we have been over this the past couple of weeks. So today we're gonna finish this chapter, and we're gonna specifically talk about the characteristics of the true prophet. So let me. Okay, so Jesus' recommendations. What did Jesus say? He said, be aware of the false prophets. Many will come in my name, and many will be seduced by them. So by saying that, Jesus is helping us recognize the bad prophets. Most of them are guided by vices, are guided by pride. The bad prophets, the false prophets, if we would say, they do not work with their hearts. They care about being recognized, and they care about fame and glory, and that's why Jesus is saying they will come in my name, and many will be seduced by them, because especially on the time that we're going through right now, a lot of people is in so much need of someone that speaks in the name of God. A lot of people are in need of a good word out there. So unfortunately, these false prophets, sometimes they will have a lot of followers because people are seduced by their words. So be aware of the false prophets. Many will come in my name, and many will be seduced by them. Distrust false prophets. This recommendation is useful at all times, especially at times of transition like the one we are experiencing now, when a transformation of humanity is in the making, and a multitude of ambitious and scheming individuals set themselves up as reformers and messiahs. So again, it's funny because this was written by Erastus in 1862, and look at us talking about it right now. This, when I first read this, is almost like this fits so much the moments that we're going through right now, like especially at times of transition like the one we're experiencing now. So this is one more example of how the gospel is so so actual. Every time you read it, regardless of the time, it actually makes so much sense. So again, this is just talking about, you know, those individuals that especially going through difficult times are in desperate need of a word, a desperate need of some kind of faith. So this false prophets, they take advantage of that situation, setting themselves as reformers or messiahs. The true prophets are chosen by God both on intelligence and morals. So those are the true prophets. Are here to fulfill important missions. God only chooses the ones that are able to fulfill their mission. This is very important too, because again, sometimes the best way to recognize the good ones, it is to recognize the false ones. And if we see this message, God only chooses the ones that are able to fulfill their mission. What is the mission of the true prophet? Is to be charitable, to be humble, and to put others in front of themselves. So that's the best way to recognize them. The chosen ones are more advanced spirits. We have no doubt on that, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Mission of the true prophet, helping humanity advance morally and intellectually. For this mission are chosen spirits who have already advanced, who have completed their trials in previous lifetime, and who are now superior to the environment in which they must act. So the mission of these prophets are basically to clarify the human beings. You know, the chosen ones, they are superior, so they have that way to clarify, to help always in over that superior power, which is God. That's what it says here. They already have completed their trials. So they are here, they are superior, and they are here now to help humanity. And I really like this picture. For me, it's really like, it helped me understand exactly what they mean with the true prophet. So God's true missionary is like a lighthouse. They must justify this condition by moral superiority or intellectual superiority. So when you see this lighthouse, the lighthouse expands. So the lighthouse, especially at night, right, expands the light to open paths. So that's what the true prophet does. The true prophet is not here to say what you have to do, but it's here more to enlighten, to help you see the right path. So to expand the light, to open paths. And it's almost like it's radiating the law of God when you see the light like this. So I think this picture it's very well representing of what the good prophet is. And they must justify this condition by moral superiority and intellectual superiority. So they are definitely superior ones for sure. Their ascendancy, virtues, and greatness, and the results and moralizing influence of their deeds. So again, they're here to influence us, but everybody has their own free will, right? So I think it's more like they are helping you to see the path. They're enlightening your path, and it's up to you if you're going to follow that or not. Virtues of the good prophet: charity, humility, indulgence, kindness, modesty, and love. So if you find an individual like that, in the Spiritism, especially in the Spiritism doctrine, we have a few examples that we can give. As Christians as well, we have very good examples that we can give, and I think there's some pictures at the end here. So true prophets are characterized by the most serious and high moral values of a true Christian. The true and the false prophet. So this picture, it's kind of speaks by itself, what the true prophets are and what the false prophets are searching for. They're searching for they're searching for be financially, take advantage of people on that, being in front of a lot of people doing their speech. That's not what a true prophet does. The true prophet is humble and modest. This is the picture of, as we Brazilian Spiritists know, it's Chico Xavier. Chico Xavier is the greatest Spiritist in Brazil. It's one of the greatest Spiritists in Brazil. We helped so many people, and that's, for me, it's one of the true examples of somebody humble and modest. And it's revealed by its actions. So the true prophet does not need to sometimes even to say anything. The true prophet is recognized by the actions that he does. And the false prophet is proud and full of himself, speak with arrogance, seems always fearful of not being believed. I think that's also very important, because whenever you are gonna, first of all, whenever you're gonna talk about something, you don't have to know everything, but it's okay not to anyway. But when you are inventing stuff, or in this case as a false prophet, you're always on that fear that some people are not gonna believe, and then you're gonna have to maybe speak a little bit more or of what of people's questions are. And that's where the fear comes, because you have no arguments of why. Present himself as a messenger from God. Run from those who display one atom of pride, as if they are contagious lepers who infect everything they touch. So the better advice about being away from those false prophets, right? They infect everything they touch, because they have that distinct way to talk, and unfortunately, a lot of people fall for that. A lot of people that are in need of someone to say what they want to hear, because that's the other thing too. These false prophets will tell you, or will tell those poor individuals that are in so much need of a word, whatever they want to hear. So that's why sometimes they have a lot of followers, because it's the easy way to get an answer. We need to understand, as a Spiritist, that we're not going to get everything we want. Everything has to have a reason, and we need to understand that. So if we follow someone that everything that we want, that individual, it's saying that you get, that's when you have to actually be aware. And then the final words by Erastus: therefore distrust false prophets, especially during a time of renewal, because many impostors will say they are messengers from God. Again, this is so written for these days. It seems like, especially during a time of renewal like the one we're going through right now. There's a lot of people there that will believe on anything someone says, just like I said, because that's what they want to hear. So also the Spiritism doctrine believes that there is a lot of spirits out there that wants to disturb. So they don't want to help. They just want to deceive us, and sometimes that's what they use these false prophets for. They provide themselves with pain satisfaction while on earth. They explore the credulity of others. They find it comfortable to live at the expense of those who listen to them. That this actually feeds their pride, feeds their ego, right? But justice awaits them. You can be sure of that. As a Spiritist, again, we believe that there is cause and there is the consequence, right? So action and consequence. So we will have those false prophets. They will have to face the justice when the time comes. So it's bad that some people think that whatever they're doing here, they're not going to have to face it afterwards. But we all know that we will definitely have to face justice when the time comes for us to do that. So I believe this was the last slide. Like I said, this lesson was basically the last one on this chapter. Is just a way to like wrap up this false and the true prophet concept. This is something that we can study probably for a long time, but I just think it's so real, the fact that those words have been written for such a long time, and they are so actual for these days, right? If anybody wants to make any comments, we can do any comments regarding the lecture, or we can go ahead and do the final prayer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish now. So I want to thank right now all the spiritual friends that are helping humanity during this difficult time. We understand, God, that there is a transition so much needed in our world. We understand the need for this transition. And we ask you for your mercy. We ask you to understand that we all have our faults, but we are here waiting for you to help us to go through this. We are here as missionaries. We are here to fulfill the work that we have designed to ourselves for this incarnation. But we need your help. We are humans. We make mistakes. We sometimes don't do everything that we wanted to do, like charity work, helping others. We know that we do so little for what we have been asked for. So we ask your help for that. For all the lives that have been lost during this difficult time, we ask your mercy for them as well. For all the lost spirits that are, especially in our town, Las Vegas, there's so much suffering. We ask that at this time they can see the light that is created on top of your town, that they can see this light so they can go to their rescue. All these poor brothers and sisters that are begging through our town, that they might see this light and they go to the rescue. We thank you for our health. We thank you for the home that we have. We thank you for our work, for our family. We thank you for our well-being. And we ask you to continue to be with us, to continue guiding us through this life, so we might become better missionaries than the ones we want to be. and so be it.